It's a fundamental change. What we do know is we'll be treating people from India in exactly the same way as people from Romania. That, I think, is absolutely right and is fitting with a global Britain having left the European Union. The fact we're introducing criteria for the who can come into the country, that also is a huge step in the right direction and something the British public very much want. So they're the big positives from today. The problem is the criteria themselves suggest to me that the numbers of people coming into the country from outside the European Union will be even bigger than they are today. And with no caps on numbers, you've got a possibility that this system means more immigration, not less.
This system will come into effect in a year's time or so. I mean, do you accept that there will be pressures on the economy as a result?
Look, I know that every big business wants as much cheap labour as they can possibly get. And they, of course, don't give a damn about the community, about people's quality of life. One of the reasons Brexit happened is because people started to find it hard to get their kids into the local primary school, to get an appointment at the local GPs. They saw huge changes taking place in their towns and cities. So the truth of it is, this is about numbers. Numbers matter. We've seen the British population rise by 6 million since 2001, the vast majority of that because of our immigration policies. So people want a proper system, but they want numbers reduced too.
It is about growth, it is about numbers, it's also about our GDP, and many people say that this will result in all of us being affected, people from all across the country.
Do you know, these arguments that mass migration has been good for GDP, well, just look at our productivity.
That's fact, isn't it?
Our productivity has fallen off a cliff over the course of the last 20 years by making ourselves the cheap labour capital of Europe. Overall, has not been a good thing for our economy. It's led to significant de-skilling, and we now have got to adopt a different approach.
But do migrants make a net contribution to the UK economy?
That just depends, doesn't it? But does it increase? Yeah, and this is why Westminster didn't understand why the Brexit vote was going to happen, because the conversation in Stoke-on-Trent is not about whether GDP is up by 0.1% per annum because of an open border policy. It is about quality of life. It is about generally having control over numbers coming into our country. And as I say, this is a step in the right direction, but it's not the full deal.
So why, in your view, is this system fair?
Well, I think it was wrong to discriminate against people from India in favour of people coming in from Romania. I think that was absolutely crazy. We should have a global approach. We should be non-discriminatory in terms of how we operate an immigration policy. I also think that to have a very big flood, and we did have a big flood, of unskilled and semi-skilled labour, drove down people's wages, fundamentally changed the quality of life for millions of people in this country. So, going, as the Australians do, going with a set of criteria that says you've got to be skilled, you've got to have the right level of qualifications, you're not going to automatically qualify for free healthcare. All of those things are right, but I just think